What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this holy mess. You know something? For Larry Reid to be so adamant that he is not gay, he sure loves to talk about stuff regarding being gay in the Bible a whole lot. Because, yeah, I know that there are some preachers who some people say, well, they're so against homosexuality where it seems like that's all they talk about. But I would even venture to say that no other so called pastor, especially one that has had experiences with other people's penises besides his own being inserted into his mouth, he said himself, and his going into somebody else's mouth and other hole, okay? He is the one that denies being gay. And I feel like it's absurd. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's disgusting. And I also feel that it is so stupid. I'm just going to say stupid that he has so many silly women, because that's what the Bible calls them, that follow him and actually give this dude money. What is wrong with people? I don't know. I'm not here to pocket watch anybody and to police how anybody decides to spend their money or waste it. But yeah, there allegedly are a lot of women that give him money that are in his online ministry, and they actually believe that this dude is a prophet. It's hilarious, but it's not even funny at the same time. But there's so much going on, and I can't get into everything. I just haven't had that type of time. And I know there's a lot of stuff that's transpired, stuff with Brian Carn and this so-called prophet Tiffany Montgomery and other stuff that's been happening. And I want to touch on some of those things. I just have to get my bearings and get around to talking about those things. But Larry Reid, I want to share some of this video because for somebody who claims to not be gay and has denied it, he really has a whole lot to say about what the Bible says about homosexuality. And in my personal opinion, I feel like he does that because he's trying to convince those women that follow him, because this is how silly a lot of these females are. A lot of them, they know he's gay, but what they'll do is they will fall for the okey doke when it comes to him talking about his past experience, being allegedly, the M word, and being a victim as a child and those different types of things. So they will feel sorry for him and look at him as not this grown man who allegedly has been a victimizer, because there have been people that have come out to say that they have been victimized by him while they were under his so-called leadership, when he actually did have an actual church in North Carolina. Those women will look at him like he's a victim, and that because he was taken advantage of while he was a child, he's still going through things, but he's not gay. So as long as he doesn't admit that he's a gay man, then that will allow their conscience to continue to follow him, and not only follow him, but sow seeds to give offerings to his ministry and pay for prophecies, which is crazy because these people, they want people to tell them what they want to hear. So they will give him money so that they could get a prophecy from him, when you can just speak to your own existence and hey, it may come to pass and it may not. But the same thing goes for you paying him money, and it may happen or it may not. Because let's be clear, he's not a prophet, but I definitely believe that he's a pedophile. And that's my personal opinion based on the things that have come out about him. And also a profit, someone that profits off of these people's foolishness. So let's get into what he had to say. I'm going to share some of this video with you guys. And this is from a YouTube content creator. He has a YouTube channel It's called What Do the Scriptures Say? I've seen some of his content and I subscribe to his channel. So I'll put the full video link in the description so that you can go to his channel and subscribe to his channel and view the whole video. But I'm going to share some of it with you here. All right, so let's go ahead and get into what he had to say.
Okay, I think preachers should preach and teach a gospel, and the pew should embrace a gospel that we all can live. Because the way that we are interpreting these scriptures and have been interpreting them for many years, and then what we see show up in our church, these things don't go together. So
I want to pause it for a moment. You heard what he said, right? He said, I think. So this is his opinion. He says, I think that people should preach and teach a gospel that we all can live. So my personal opinion, my take on that, what he's saying is that, listen, I'm tired of getting condemned about being a gay man, whatever age he is. He claims that he just turned 47, which I still can't believe, because if he's 47, then I say the nigga's aging like milk, because you can't tell me that this dude is not 57 or 67. Okay. I'm just saying, I don't care if he has a few grays in his beard. That 47, no, not for these days and times. But I feel that he's all these years denied his true identity. He's already been exposed for, having sex with men. Vincent Terrell Hill came out and had all of the receipts, all of the audio, the screenshots, all of the things, right? To expose this man as the manipulative, evil Negro, I was about to say another word, that he is. And he never came out, at least I didn't hear it, and denied any of that. He talked about how they use pink lotion. Remember pink oil moisturizer? Remember when the moms used to use that in the little girl's hair? I could never see a bottle. Oh, well, I don't even know if they still sell that anymore. So apparently that's something that they used back in the day. But I'm just saying, this person sitting here all of these years living in this glass closet because it's see through. We can see you. Hello, we can see you. Come on out of the closet. Just come on out because it's see through. I truly believe that he is saying, I'm tired of trying to live in this closet. I just want to be free. I want to be me. It's June. It's Pride Month. Can I just come out and say I'm every whatever? It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I'll do it. His talk. But no, I feel like he is saying, y'all stop preaching against homosexuality because I'm tired of trying to deny it. I'm tired of trying to hide it. And this is who I am. That's what I took from what he said. I'm going to rewind that a little bit and we're going to, let him say that again.
preachers should preach and teach a gospel, and the pew should embrace a gospel that we all can live.
See? Preachers should preach and teach a gospel, and people in the pew should be able to receive what they so that we all can live. So to me, it sounds like that I want to live in my truth. And so just come on out the closet.
Because the way that we are interpreting these scriptures and have been interpreting them for many years, and then what we see show up in our church, these things don't go together. So it's time for us to look at certain mistranslations of the Bible, like the word fornication, like the word homosexual. We need to all understand that these were misinterpretations and mistranslations of old texts. And now we have these things that we preach and teach in our culture.
See, like that's what I'm saying. He's talking about these things. Look, the Bible is 66 books. It's not even just one book. It's 66 books. It's a lot of stuff in there. There really is a lot of stuff in there. So, out of everything in these 66 books, you're just focusing on homosexuality and fornication. You who claims to be a prophet, you who claims to have been a pastor, you who claims to be some sort of online pastor these days, all you're like spending your time and energy focusing on is fornication and homosexuality. Why? It's because that's the world that he lives in. Flat out, period. And hey, if his ex-wife could come out and be a lesbian, then why can't he just come out and say, you know what, I'm a gay man? I don't get it. But I do. I just don't get it in terms of that life because I don't live that. But I'm just saying, because this is his grift and this is how he has gotten by over these people over all these years. This is the world that he lives in, this church world. But he wants to create some sort of subsect of it, which essentially is a cult. Okay, it's a cult. And in my personal opinion, because I heard some stuff about him going over to Ghana and whatever, and you better be careful because I heard that country is one of the ones that 45/47 might be putting on the list of banned countries to be able to one travel to and for them to be able to come here from. So I don't know. Might not be working out for you, but I'm saying I feel like if he was going over there to do some stuff, I feel like it's like a Jim Jones sort of thing where you're trying to set up some sort of compound over out there in another country so you can get your followers to come over there and follow you to where you're going to. Oh my God. With these dark glasses on. Jim Jones. And I talked about that a while ago, guys. So that's nothing new when it comes to this evil creature.
That's not actually biblical. We need to get very clear that the Bible does not rebuke as a sin premarital sex. That is not in the Bible. No, Larry, this says, you see that word fornication? Do you know where that word fornication comes from? It comes from porneia. And it actually goes further than that. It comes from a word that literally means prostitute. So please tell me how premarital sex became the definition for a word that don't mean that.
Well, I'm going to pause it for a moment because didn't Lester Peltier come out and say that Larry was paying him for the booty? Lester Peltier, like, so if he's trying to say that fornication doesn't actually mean sex outside of marriage, what it actually means is prostitution. Well, allegedly, that's what you were doing too. So either way, even let's say it didn't mean what people have been teaching that it meant all of these years. Well, it sounds like it means what you're still guilty of doing, which is paying men for sex, allegedly. I'm saying, so either way, it's like it's not looking too good for you.
That's in the Greek, but then it comes from Latin. It comes from fornics, which means a brothel. Ladies and gentlemen, fornication, the way that it's preached is just error.
See, again, this is the life that he's living. I'm not going to even play any more of this video because I just wanted to share some of it. I'm going to put the full video link in the description box so that you can check it out, guys. But I want to play a little bit of this other video so you can hear what he had to say about Brian Carn. Now, Brian Carn, some call him Prophet Brian Carn, some call him Pastor Brian Carn. He has a few churches. One is in North Carolina, and I actually know someone. I mean, it's not someone that I speak to on a regular basis, but I know of her. She actually moved from where we are to North Carolina to go to this man's church. Now, we're still Facebook friends. I don't get on Facebook like that anymore. So I don't know. I believe she still goes to his church, but she moved to Charlotte, North Carolina to go to this man's church. And if she still goes there, I hope she's okay. And I hope she's not one of the women that got caught up with Brian Carn. But Brian Carn, he got exposed for his dirty dealing in the sack with some of the chicks in his congregation. We'll talk about that in another video, but I want to play a little bit about what Larry Reid had to say about Brian Carn's booty. All right, guys, so this is coming from the official King Jives YouTube channel. I'm going to put the full video link in the description box. He's crazy, but I was listening to this last week and I said, this doesn't surprise me, but here we go. So let's just go ahead and get into this video, guys.
I'll say that y'all holy and sanctified, but y'all deal with people like him. Y'all deal with people like Larisha and ooh, go ahead.
I might tell Carn this. Carn is about, you shouldn't have said that. Now, Prophet Reid, you shouldn't have said that. He gonna say that. But
Prophet Reid, baby. Oh,
if I was bastard, we got to flip it a little bit because I don't have a puss. I don't even have a bus. That thing closed like this.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not that I want to picture that, but see, just the visuals of him talking about his butthole and how tight it is. Meaning, he wants y'all to know Ain't no man ever slung his schlong up inside between these butt cheeks. It's virgin. And I don't believe that. He's a liar, my personal opinion. And so he is, again, trying to deny that he's gay.
But what I got is a peen.
Look how skinny you are, baby. That's how I know you sick. Babe, and you talking about that, but see, why would that even come? Go ahead, Sister Reid.
But what I got is a peen. If me and Carn was in a relationship.
See, pause it. Why this man who claims to be a pastor, claims to be a prophet, would you all be going to the church or under the leadership of any so-called pastor who's sitting and talking about, if I was in a relationship with a man, why would why would you even be insinuating that? Why would you even be using yourself as an example when a woman came out to expose Brian Carn? A woman. And he starts off talking about, I don't have a puss, but what I do have is a peen. And, disgusting. Gross. He's always talking about sex.
And I was getting some corn cakes. I don't know if
you heard that? Carn cakes. What man? First of all, my husband could never, and he has never. Would you be with a man? Would you want to be with a man who's referencing another man's butt? First of all, even referencing it, speaking about it, let alone calling some man's butt cakes. Seriously, like it's sweet, it's moist, it's delectable, it's child.
If y'all watch the video, Carn's bread basket sit on his back like my ex-wife.
Look at that. Again, a man who claims he's not gay talking about Brian Carn's butt and talking about how it sits up like a donkey booty. Remember on Real Housewives of Atlanta seasons ago when Phaedra was talking about the donkey butt, donkey booty? Child.
If I was getting that, and it had to be good, Vashti, whatever he was doing to you.
What? Like, wait, first of all, do y'all see how frail he looked? That's why he
it's just gross.
Trying not to show his arms and hands. Do y'all see how frail he looked? First of all, your face look, babe, you look like Skeletor.
I'm just going to stop it right there. I'll put the full video link in the description box if you want to check it out, guys. But I just was like, what man who is not gay is sitting and talking about another man's booty and then calls his butt cheeks cakes and says, if what I would do if I was getting some corn cakes? Child, he sounds like he's jealous of the chick that came out said that she's been smashing Brian Carn for the last 10 years. Just foul and disgusting. But he continuously denies that he's gay, but he keeps giving people reason to believe that he is. Listen, I could care less. I don't follow the man. I have no interest in him. I absolutely don't understand why people do, but for whatever reason, some people do. But if you want to be one of his followers and continue to watch him be in denial of his true self and wanting to justify his life, but really wanting to be free while still in denial, so he'll come out and say, well, the Bible doesn't reference that. And preachers, they need to preach the way that it's going to make it more tangible or more realistic or whatever the freaking words he used to pretty much say, look, I'm trying to preach in a way where my followers will feel comfortable to be able to live a free life of however they want to live. And I also want to be able to do the same thing. So I need people to get in check, get in alignment, and do like I'm doing so we all can be on one accord. So we can just say, you know what, that ain't what the Bible really meant. And actually now that I'm 55 years old, I can come out and say that I'm gay. So I mean, I feel like he's going to be like Little Richard. When Little Richard was like, maybe like what, in his last year of life, he came out to admit that he's gay. It's like, nigga, we knew that all along. I'm just saying. So it's like he is living in denial for his own conscience, but it really means absolutely nothing because the man is living in a glass closet. We see you. When he was having that conversation on Zoom with T.S. Madison and the other gay guys, they all were like shocked when he came out to say that he's not in the LGBTQ community. They were like, oh, really? Okay. Ciao, bye. But I just wanted to share that. I'm going to put both video links in the description box so that you can check them out. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, guys. And I'll be back with more later. But thank you guys so much for leaving your comments and stay tuned for more. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.